Welcome back. It's that day of the week again when we explore and appreciate green ideas and inventions. This is Going Green. We've got two exciting eco product lines that guarantee no trees will ever be cut or harmed, for that matter, in their production. Now, first up, paper. Did you know that using 1 ton of recycled paper will be able to save 6 mature trees? And don't get started on rubber, because there's a toy line that is actually made from all natural rubber foam. Now, to tell us how we can achieve a zero tree casualty with each sheet of paper or rubber toy, joining us in the studio are Yvonne Castro and Danvic Biones of EcoThings and Kiran Gidwani of San Giovanni, Philippines. All right, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm going to start over on this side. EcoThings. It sounds well. Obviously, it's very EcoThings. But the concept of recycled paper, of 100% recycled paper in these products is very exciting. Obviously, there's a very obvious eco link there.
Yes. We've been in the printing business for so long, and then we decided that there's a need for us to come up with a line or paper products that are made in the Philippines,
okay,
at the same time cater to the protection of the environment. So that's why we created our own printed and eco-friendly lines.
All right, Danvic. Now everybody knows that paper comes from fiber. Fiber comes from wood or pulp. It usually means trees that are cut down, and this is something that we're obviously all very concerned about.
Yes.
Something that we want to avoid. The idea of using 100% recycled products, recycled paper in this particular case, it's a great idea. How does it all work, really?
Well, basically what we do is we use recyclable and 100% recycled paper, and then we use soy-based ink.
Okay.
So, and then we use, even the lamination is water-based. Even the printing is, we do not use negatives, so it's basically CTP. So everything, all the process is basically saving the environment.
Okay. Where does the paper come from? Where does the recycled paper come from? What's the raw material?
Okay, and lucky for us right now that because our paper industry here in the Philippines cannot produce certified acid-free and 100% recycled, so we import our papers from
Okay.
Europe.
Okay.
But hopefully soon the paper industry will, keep up, and we can get our supplies from
Okay.
here.
All right. So the paper itself has to be brought in, but what you guys are using soya-based
Yes.
inks.
Yes, in the printing.
In the printing. So that means obviously that the more traditional way of printing with pigments and inks that may contain some harmful
Yes.
chemicals that not only, I mean, when you have a product like this, which is in constant contact with your person, that's a concern. But obviously there's a concern also with doing things on an industrial scale where there's a large runoff of these chemical
Exactly.
products. Okay, so the soya-based ink obviously means that whether if you chewed on this, it'd be
It's
fine.
food grade,
It's
yes.
food grade,
It's
it'd be fine. If you
basically
chewed
food
on it, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
And if ever the concern was what happens to the runoff or the waste from the factory, from the process, it's also something that's not doesn't have a big impact on the environment.
Yes, in our production process, we're really very careful of trying to reduce
Okay.
the carbon footprint. That's why even in our designs, we try to make it, there's a less waste of even on the sizes that we create. So we're really trying to reduce on everything that
All
we
right,
use.
that's interesting. That the product itself, the way it's designed, even the sizes play a role
Yes,
on
yes,
how
exactly.
efficient you can be in terms of being as sustainable as you can be. Let's talk about a bit more about that. When you talk about this efficient size that you can have, what does that mean?
Oh, usually when we get the paper, it's in a whole sheet of paper, and then we design in such a way that once we trim the paper, there's just a very minimal
Wastage, okay.
wastage.
Okay.
So it depends on the size of paper that we use. So, for example, like this one, there are smaller cuts of paper. So
Okay.
we designed it in such a way that we can, really use everything.
Okay. So even like little trimming off cuts
Yes,
and that sort of thing
yes.
can be turned into something else.
Yes,
All right.
exactly.
How big a deal is I mean, what we're avoiding here is deforestation and that sort of
Yes.
thing. That's a pretty big deal right now. I mean, the state. Can you give us sort of an idea of the state of our forests and how much of an impact using recycled paper has?
Oh, for example, for every ton, as mentioned before, it's not just actually it's 6. It's actually around 13 full-grown tree,
Okay.
and a full-grown tree usually you can have it in around 7 to 9 years.
Okay.
So, with all the papers that we are using, actually using recycled paper is more. It's not just more energy efficient. The bottom line is actually it's more sustainable and more efficient, more
Okay.
economically efficient even. Even if right now we're looking at the price range can be a little bit higher, but when you consider all the other impacts, the economic benefit still outweighs in a general and broader perspective.
Okay. So, EcoThings, what sort of products do you guys have? What did you bring for us today?
Well, right now we have our planners, we have our notebooks. This is one is the deboss one, the design. That one
Alright.
also is a notebook. This is what we call an idea pad.
Alright.
So basically, it's blank. The good thing about this, even the designs or our concept is also saving the planet. So basically, you can do a lot of stuff here. You can write, you can draw, you can collage.
Right.
So it does not have a very specific purpose.
Okay.
Even for our planners, we made them undated. So if you did not finish the holder, you can actually reuse them.
Reuse it,
Yes.
or, yeah?
So that's a good thing also about it. Even the design and content, we tend to think about recycling.
Recycling, longevity, and that sort of thing. You've got these loose pages and these spiral spines. Is that something that you guys do a service like that,
Yes,
or projects like
yes.
that, where people can come and make their own notebooks?
Yes,
can't
we
you?
do
Don't they?
that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so we go if other like groups would like to invite us. So we give a talk, like for example, if it's a party, we try to teach the kids on how to use the recycled papers, and then these are actually all recycled papers. So
Okay.
on the spot, we can create it for them. They can choose different covers, and then the kids can be creative
I know,
and
that's fun.
create something like
For sure.
make it
My
personalized.
kids would love to do this.
Yeah.
Now, when you say papers, the paper you use is recycled, how many times can you actually recycle paper?
Oh, actually, it's around 7 times.
Okay.
So
So you
for-
can
for
use
the
a piece of
pulp,
paper
yes.
and then use it again,
Yes,
and then
use
use it
it
again,
again
and
and
use it
again,
again
yeah.
and again.
Yeah.
All right. So, but how far do we have to go in terms of getting this done ourselves here? You're saying that we're at this point we're still importing the materials, but we write on paper that's imported. What can we do with the paper afterwards here?
Okay, but we also have recycling plants
Okay.
here. So we like the ones that we use newsprints and
Yeah.
everything for the newspapers. But the whole idea is the technology part of creating the recycle is not yet fully green.
Okay.
So we still use for the local industry we still use bleach, which is like harmful for the
Right,
environment.
right.
So and it's not acid free. So that's why for us we try to
It still
know.
makes sense to
Yes.
look elsewhere for now.
now,
All right.
for
I think
now.
people are going to be certainly going to be catching on because people are really,
Hopefully,
really
really
interested in
want
being
that.
as green as they can be. Now, in terms of price, usually we do tend to think that okay, green products may be a little more expensive. Are they? In fact, what sort of a price range do you guys have?
Okay, because we're looking at some of our competitors that's like they're all imported.
Right.
So usually, like for example, this 100% in the US, you can get this for around 15 to 20 US dollars.
Okay.
But here in the Philippines, we sell this at around 500 pesos only.
Okay.
So it's a lot. It's like 50% off than the US brands. But we try to make our products really world class. also.
Right. And they are really great products and a very sort of unique look to them. I mean, they have a very earthy feel, sort of a semi-matte sort of look to them. The colors, the type of colors that are used have a very earthy feel to them as well. Great products, and you can be sure that when you buy a product like this, you're doing your share in keeping the forests green and keeping them there. Really.
Yes.
All right,
Thank
good
you.
stuff. Thank you, Yvonne.
Thank you, Paolo.
We're gonna move on over here to Rababu Toys. Natural foam. Isn't foam just foam?
Actually, okay, so our toys have been taken from the sap of the rubber tree.
Okay.
So they're completely natural. As opposed to other rubber toys that use synthetic rubber,
Okay.
we believe that our toys should be kept as natural as possible. That's why we use natural rubber, taken straight from the sap of the rubber tree.
Okay.
Now, in order to make it into foam, a lot of other companies use a chemical process.
All right.
But we use a mechanical process in order to beat the sap to make it into a foam.
Okay.
Now, because we use natural rubber, our products are all dust mite free, antimicrobial, hypoallergenic, flame retardant,
Okay.
and mildew resistant.
It's funny. There's so many pros. Really, I don't see a downside to it. You really do wonder why people started using
Synthetic rubber.
synthetics in this particular field, because toys are particularly kids' toys. I mean, the first thing that a young child's going to do is stick this in their mouth.
Exactly,
right?
exactly. And so the toys were designed with safety in mind.
Okay.
There are a collection of child-safe toys that were all handmade. And they're very, very safe for kids. Each and every ingredient that's put into the product is sourced from very, very good quality. Our rubber is from the sap of the rubber tree.
Okay.
The paint, I don't know if you see, like this, for example, has paint.
Okay.
None of our products have paint that contain lead.
Okay.
In fact, our factory mixes the paints themselves to ensure that there's absolutely no lead in the products.
All right.
Because there is a lot of lead in the market nowadays, especially in paint.
And I know that was a concern. I mean, there was a big shipment of toys that was circulating, where that was the main concern, was the lead content
lead, yes.
of the paint. And I know many toys, you see it all over the net every so often. Toys get recalled because they discover that they weren't
contains
particularly
lead.
careful in the manufacture of the toys,
Yeah.
and the paint contained lead. Okay, how are the products very eco-friendly though in that sense?
Okay, so basically the source of the product, which is the sap of the rubber tree, is a renewable source.
Okay.
If you compare this to other eco toys like wooden toys, for
All right.
example, which are also considered eco toys, you still have to cut the tree in order
Okay.
to make the toy.
toy.
Whereas in our case, you just extract the rubber, the tree is not harmed in any way, and the tree naturally produces the sap on its own. So it's a
Okay.
sustainable resource as
All
well.
right. Okay, cool. Well, we've got quite a range of
Yes.
toys that you've brought here today, and they're a lot of fun.
These are the apes of wisdom. So not only are they a good furniture piece, I
Yeah.
think, but you can also teach your kids about the three
Yeah,
values.
the hear no
The
evil, see no evil, tweet no evil.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Speak no evil.
Speak no evil. Okay,
Yeah.
I was just all right. And there's lots of other fun stuff. I mean, tell us about the range.
Okay, so what we have here, we have our micro Annie wheelies.
Okay.
We have big items of this as well. So here,
There you
these
go.
are the big Annie wheelies. So these are all animals. If you want to teach your child about animals, this would be very, very good.
All right.
We have balls here, different types of balls, and all our items here bounce. Okay, so a lot of the times when a mother goes and buys toys for her kids, she has safety in mind. That's her first
Yep.
concern. So all our toys are very safe. There are absolutely no sharp edges.
Right.
And there are no hard to chip off parts.
Okay.
Over here
I'm
we
just gonna
have.
test if it really does bounce. Oh,
Yeah,
they
it
do
does.
bounce. All right, check it out. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So over here we have the vehicles. The
She's
small
got a headache from that. She's gonna go, don't do that. All right.
These are our small vehicles. These are our big vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
This is the sword and shield. So if a child wants to play with a sword and a shield, very safe. We
If
have.
a child wants to play, I think some adults might want to play with this as well. Are they
Yeah.
expensive? Are they affordable? How does the price range go?
It starts from about 300 pesos per piece to
Okay.
about 3,000 for the bigger pieces.
Okay, so it can be a bit pricey, but then again, you don't want to take any chances when it
Yes,
comes to
exactly.
the toys that your children play with. I mean,
Yes.
people are making more responsible choices, more sustainable choices when it comes to their purchases, and really, your child's safety is priceless.
Yes, and they are being produced in Australia, in New Zealand, in Japan, and they've passed several of the international safety standard
Okay.
tests.
Okay.
So they're very, very safe for kids.
Okay.
So that puts a premium on the products as well. They've won a lot of awards, such as the Dr. Toy Awards, the Tillywig Brainchild Award. So they're very, very good.
Super, super. All right. In terms of availability, where can you get them?
These are available right now in Toys R Us and Rustan's.
Okay, super. Well, thank you. I mean, this is obviously, like I said, the best choice you can make if you're interested in being as sustainable as you can and really being safe. The safety of your child should be a concern to all parents. So this is certainly something that they should be looking to. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for joining us this morning,
Thank you
Tirana.
very
I'd like to
much.
say thank you as well to Yvonne and Danvik over there for sharing those great products that they did.